Hello, beautiful people. So, in this video, I'm going to explain to you how to find your top three core values. And this is a method that was taught to me about 5 years ago. I found it very powerful. And the three top values that I came up with have really stood the test of time. And I actually now have my own words for them as well. So, the way you do this is you go back to your earliest memories, ideally pre-7. However, if you really can't remember anything, then yeah, as young as you can. And you really need your top 10. Now, I had to write down every single memory that I could think of. But having done this work with other people since, I think that if you really write down, the top strongest memories that you have from your earliest childhood, and then order them from 1 to 10 as to which one is the most strongest memory that you have. Now, I appreciate that a lot of these memories are going to be painful. But the whole point of this exercise is not to relive the memory. The whole point of this exercise is to stand back a little bit and look at the memory and imagine what you were feeling in that memory. What was it that was really like, what was the strongest emotion for you in that memory? And it can be good memories and it can be bad memories. So, for example, my top two memories, one was I felt like I had no control as a child. My mother was very controlling, and she was also quite scary. She used physical punishment. And I felt like that I had so little choice. And when I looked at it, it was like, what was it that I wanted? What was the key core experience that I really was looking for there? And for me, it was freedom. And then another memories I have, these were like little group of memories. One was I was obsessed with wildflowers, and I would just go and sit amongst them all and they'd talk to me and things. I just loved them. I was obsessed with ballet, just listening to Tchaikovsky and watching ballet dancers. And I loved, weirdly, I loved making posters and drawing people and characters and things. And when I looked at all of these together, it was like, what was it that was really hooking me in to them? And I realized it was beauty. And beauty, you remember I talked about the path of beauty. Beauty is a really core value for me. So it can go either way. And once you've got your top 10 list, pick out, your top, put them in order and go through them, because you'll find that they'll have like similar things. You'll have one memory that maybe say around lack of control, and then you'll have another memory that was about lack of control, and maybe even another one, you see. So they tend to then start to fall into a few categories where you either were like so, like out of control, not being cared for, looked after in the way that you should be. And what was it that you craved? What was it that you really wanted? Because you'll have spent the rest of your life seeking that. That will be one of your guiding lights. Whatever that quality was that you were looking for, I've always looked for freedom. I've always looked for beauty. my other core value is something that I'm still sort of growing into specifically what it is, but I'm pretty sure I've got it now. And then as I sat with them, freedom, beauty, at the time the other one was love. As I sat with them, I was like, well, what do those words really mean to me? Because, you know, freedom's a pretty big word, really, isn't it? And and then the more and more I sat with them, and then my own words came through that I felt were really, you know, central to me. And that is wild, weird, and I had wonder, and I have wise. I've actually got four. I've never decided between the wonder and the wise, you see. So actually, I've come up with now is wild, weird, and wonderfully wise. That literally came to me today. So we're always working on our values. We're always fine tuning them as we align our decisions to them. So for me, you know, there's I would have to be really hard pushed to make a choice to live in a house again. My inner wildness just finds that really difficult. So for me, if I was looking, you know, to make a choice about my living circumstances, a house would be pretty low down on the list because I find houses, I don't feel wild in a house. You know, I feel wild outdoors. So it's important for me to have access to outdoors, to, you know, to actually sleep outside effectively. That's important to my authentic self, my authentic alignment. And beauty is just so important to me. Yeah, the beauty of the world is so healing for me. That's like my self care, if you like. And yeah, so I really encourage you to do this exercise. You know, be gentle with yourself because it can be very deep, it can bring up a lot of stuff, but you're not really looking to process that stuff. You're just looking to find the essence of what it was as a child you were missing, and that you have since dedicated your life to putting into your life in some way. But we just want to find, you know, get some names to them, and then maybe even find your own names appropriate for them. Okay, love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.